Good morning, everyone. So today good morning. So today we are going to start a new chapter, chapter 5, coal and petroleum. Okay, coal and petroleum. So can you tell me, children, certain materials that we are used in our daily life?
Water, air,
Then
oil,
oxygen,
oxygen. Then
metals,
metals. Only these things?
plastics,
Plastics. Do you need food?
minerals,
Yeah, minerals. Okay, food. What about food? It's
plants.
physical, right?
Yes, food.
Yes, food. Then what about clothes?
Food, fabric.
Then pen, book, paper, bag, desk, table, furnitures, lot of things, right? So we can classify them into two types, right? Those obtained from nature and we can artificially made or man-made things, right? So there is a table in your textbook that is activity 5.1. You have to make a list of various materials used by us in daily life and classify them as natural and man-made. So please try to fill that table in the textbook itself, okay, using pencil. Make a list of various materials used by us in daily life and classify them as natural and man-made.
Ma'am, how much each should we write?
5 or 6, that is needed.
And page number?
56.
I'm done.
Okay, okay. Finished, children? Shall we discuss now? Okay. Abhinav, can you read the list of things that we can obtain from nature or natural things?
Fruits,
Fruits.
wood,
Which one?
wood,
Wood. Okay. Then.
stones, rubber, wool, cotton, jute.
Okay. That's enough. That's it. Then what about man-made, Parvati? Man-made things.
Yes, ma'am.
Man-made things. I can't hear you. Abhinav, can you please mute? Okay.
Materials itself.
Yeah, materials.
Cardboard box. Plastic furnitures.
Yeah.
Vehicles. Wrappers, plastics.
Yeah. Okay. That's enough. Carlin, can you tell me other things that we can obtain from nature or natural things?
Natural things, food, oxygen, oil, furniture, water, man-made.
Furniture that will comes in artificial, right? Wood will be comes from natural. Okay.
Okay,
Then.
ma'am. Man-made clothes,
Hmm.
pen,
Hmm.
book,
Hmm.
pencil,
Hmm.
vehicles.
Okay, okay, that's enough. So you know about the classification, right? Those obtained from nature, that are natural things, and what all things we can make, that is man-made things. Okay, so mainly this air, water, then plants, then fruits, vegetables, soil, these all things are obtained from nature, isn't it? So these type of things, these are known as natural resources. Okay, so now we are going to learn about natural resources. The materials obtained from nature include air, water, soil, and minerals. These are called natural resources. Clear, children? The
This is the
materials.
first slide, right?
Yeah, this is the first one. The materials.
I have a doubt.
Yeah. Ask me.
Ma'am, the electricity sometimes we obtain it from wind energy, right? So it comes under man-made or natural.
That is, that idea was shared by, or that idea was proposed by man, right? And he invented this method to convert wind energy or some form of energy into electricity, isn't it? So it comes under artificial.
Okay, ma'am.
In this cases, that means air, water, soil, minerals, etc. They are directly obtaining from nature, isn't it? No such methods can be used. In the case of production of electricity, certain methods are required to convert this form of energy into electricity. So it will come under man-made. So the materials obtained from nature include air, water, soil, and minerals. These are called natural resources. Okay. And again, depending upon the availability of these resources in nature, we can classify this natural resources into two types. First one is inexhaustible natural resources, and the second one is exhaustible natural resources. Clear, children? First one is inexhaustible natural resources, and the second one is exhaustible natural resources. Depending upon their availability of resources. In the nature itself, some resources are unlimited in quantity and some are very limited, right? And depending upon these things, we can classify natural resources into inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources.
One minute, don't change the slide.
And Pranav is asking, can you say the page number of the textbook?
56, 57. 56, 57. Now we are discussing 56. Rajita, can you please read the slide?
Yes, ma'am. The materials obtained from nature include air, water, soil, and minerals are called natural resources. In the light of the availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. Inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources.
Okay, inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources. Then, Jahan, can you repeat the points again?
Yes, ma'am. The minerals obtained from nature include air, water, soil, and minerals are called natural resources. In the light of availability of various resources in nature, natural resources can be broadly classified into two kinds. Inexhaustible natural resources and exhaustible natural resources.
Okay. Have you completed, children?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you? Pranav, what about you? Finished? Okay, then next we are going to learn about both types of natural resources, that is inexhaustible one and exhaustible one. Okay, so first one is inexhaustible natural resources. Inexhaustible natural resources. So these resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature. These resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. What's the meaning of the term exhausted?
Not completed. Finished.
Yeah, completed or finished. Okay, completed or finished. So here these type of resources are unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted or finished by human activities. And the examples for this inexhaustible natural resources are sunlight, air, then water, soil, etc. Cannot be exhausted by human activities and are present in large quantity or unlimited quantity in nature itself. That is inexhaustible natural resource.
Ma'am, but water can get exhausted by human activities, right?
Pure form of water may be exhausted due to human activities, right? But the quantity of water will remain the same, isn't it? It's present in unlimited quantity and will not be finished by human activities. It will be get spoiled or polluted due to human activities, isn't it? Isa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Bauja, can you please read the slide?
Yes, ma'am. Inexhaustible natural resources. These resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. Examples are sunlight, air, water, and soil.
Okay. Annette, can you repeat the point again?
Inexhaustible natural resources. These resources are present in unlimited quantity in nature and are not likely to be exhausted by human activities. Examples are sunlight, air, water, and soil.
Okay. So have you completed the slide, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else remaining to complete it? No one, right? Okay. So next one is exhaustible natural resources. So the amount of these type of resources in nature is limited and they can be exhausted by human activities. Okay. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. And examples for these type of resources are forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. So when the overexploitation or overuse of these type of resources, it will lead to the exhaustible. It will lead this type of resources as exhaustible natural resources. Okay, it will be finished by the overuse and overexploitation of these resources. So that's the main type of classification between natural resources. Inexhaustible one and exhaustible. Inexhaustible, it is present in large quantity and cannot be exhausted by human activities. Here exhaustible, it is present in limited quantity and can be exhausted by human activities. Gauri Parvati, can you please read the slide?
Exhaustible natural resources. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. Example of these resources are forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc.
Okay. Uma, can you repeat the points again?
Yes, sir. Okay. Exhaustible natural resources. The amount of these resources in nature is limited. They can be exhausted by human activities. Example of these resources are forest, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, natural gases, etc.
Okay. So that's about the 2 types of natural resources. Clear, children? Do you have any doubt in this? It's clear, right? Have you completed this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the next one, we will learn about fossil fuels. So what is fossil? Can you tell me? What is fossil? You have learned it in social science, right?
The dead remains.
Yeah, dead remains
So,
of?
dead animals.
Okay. Dead remains of plants and animals, right? That is known as fossil. So what will be fossil fuel?
Fuel from fossils.
Very good, very good. That's it. The fuel that can be obtained from such fossils are known as fossil fuels. Okay. So some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Coal, petroleum, and natural gas were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. And the dead remains of living organisms are known as fossils. So these...
heading for this?
Which one?
Heading.
Heading, fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. So some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. These dead remains of living organisms are known as fossils, and the fuel obtained from such certain fossils are known as fossil fuels. Is this clear? So the main examples for fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Okay, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Ishal, can you read?
Yes, ma'am. Fossil fuels. Some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. These are known as fossil fuels.
Okay. Dilla, can you repeat the point again?
Yes, ma'am. Fossil fuels. Some exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. These are known as fossil fuels.
Okay, these are known as fossil fuels. Okay. So now we can learn about the first fossil fuel, that is coal. Okay. So the first one is coal. Shall I move to next slide, children? Yes, right? Okay. So the first one is coal. So first we can learn the uses of this coal. Okay, uses of this coal. Coal is one of the fuels that is used to cook food. Okay, coal is one of the fuels. It is used to cook food. And this coal is very hard and it is black in color. Okay, it is very hard and black in color. Earlier times it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. Okay, earlier days it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. And it is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. It's a method to produce electricity that is using heat energy itself, thermal power plants. In thermal power plants, we will use this coal as one of the components or fuel to produce electricity. And the next one, coal is also used as a fuel in various industries. So these are the different uses of coal. It is one of the fuel used to cook food. Then earlier it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. Then it is used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. And it is used in certain industries as a fuel. So these are the different uses of this coal.
And for smelting.
Yeah. So Tanmay, can you read the points?
Yes, ma'am. Coal. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Earlier, it was used in railway engines to produce steam engine to run the engine.
Okay.
It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as fuel in various industries.
Okay. Lakshmi, can you repeat the points again?
Yes, ma'am. Coal. Coal is one of the fuels used to cook food. Earlier, it was used in railway engines to produce steam to run the engine. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity. Coal is also used as a fuel in various industries.
Okay. So that's about the main uses of coal. Then shall I move to next slide, children?
One minute.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here there is one story of coal. That's in your textbook. Who will read or narrate it in a storytelling way? There is a story of coal. Who will read? Okay, Hessa. Okay, Hessa. You can read. Story of coal.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
About 300 million years ago, the Earth had dense forests in low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural processes like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted to coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called a fossil fuel.
That's
a coal mine.
That's enough. Okay. So that's about the story of coal. Okay, I need one more student to narrate the story. Who's ready? Uma. Okay, Uma.
About 300 million years ago, the Earth had dense forests and low-lying wetland areas. Due to natural processes like flooding, these forests got buried under the soil. As more soil deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature also rose as they sank deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, dead plants got slowly converted into coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called a fossil fuel.
Okay, that's enough. So that's about the story of coal. About 300 million years ago, Earth had dense forests in low-lying wetland areas. And due to some natural calamities or natural processes like flooding, what happens? These forests get buried under the soil. Okay. And when they go deeper and deeper into the soil, their temperature will rise and some pressure is applied on this dense forest. That means plants and trees. And what happens? It is slowly converted to coal. Okay. And this dead remains of plants, it will contain certain amount of carbon. That's why the process of conversion of this dead plants into coal is known as carbonization. And it is obtained from fossils. That's why it is known as fossil fuel. Okay. So there are two important points to note down from this one. The first one, as this coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal, it is known as carbonization. And it was formed from the dead remains or the remains of vegetation. The coal is also called a fossil fuel. So these are the two important things you have to note from the story of coal. As coal contains mainly carbon, the slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from the remains of vegetation, coal is also called a fossil fuel. Ayan, can you read the points?
A coal contains mainly carbon. The slow process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Since it was formed from remains of vegetation, coal is also called a fossil fuel.
Okay. Finished?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you, right? Okay. The next one. When we heat this coal in air, it will burn. Okay. When we heat this coal in the presence of air, it will burn and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. We know that this coal contains carbon, right? Carbon. The symbol of carbon is C. Okay. Then when it reacts in air or heated in air, air contains oxygen, isn't it? So it will react with O2. O2 is oxygen. So these two reacts together to form CO2. The CO2 is carbon dioxide gas. So when this coal is heated in air, it will produce mainly carbon dioxide gas, CO2. So whenever coal burns, it will produce carbon dioxide gas, CO2. And the second point, there are three important products that can be obtained from this coal. That is coke, coal tar, and coal gas. Clear, children? Coal is processed in industry to get three useful products. One is coke, second one is coal tar, and third one is coal gas. Okay. Then we will learn more about coke, coal tar, and coal gas in the next slide. What about the three products obtained? Tell me.
Coke, coal tar, and coal gas.
Yeah. Coke, coal tar, and coal gas. These are the three useful products obtained from coal by processing in industry. So the carbon dioxide is the product formed when this coal burns in air. And the three useful products obtained from coal is coke, coal tar, and coal gas. Adityan, can you please read the slide?
When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in industries to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar, and coal gas.
Coke, coal tar, and coal gas. Okay. Malavika, can you repeat the points again?
When heated in air, coal burns and produces mainly carbon dioxide gas. Coal is processed in industry to get some useful products such as coke, coal tar, and coal gas.
Okay. Have you completed this one, children?
Yes.
Okay. Then among these three, can you tell me which one is in solid state, which one is in liquid state, and which one is in gaseous state?
Coke is solid, coal tar is liquid, and coal gas is gaseous.
Okay. This one in solid state, coal tar that's in liquid state, and coal gas that is in gaseous state. Okay. So one more thing, now we can discuss about coke also. It's very few points are there, okay, about coke. Coke. It is a tough, porous, and black substance. What's the meaning of the term porous? Contains pores, right? Contains holes. That's it.
Holes.
Yeah. So it is tough, porous, and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. So among these three useful products, this coke is the purest form of carbon because only carbon is present there. Clear? And it is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. What do you mean by the term extraction? Which one?
Taking out something. Taking out something.
Yeah, that's it. Purification or separating, that's it. That means the metals that is obtained from nature that is not in the purest form. Okay, so we need to convert it into the purest form. So there are certain processes to convert this impure form of metal into pure form. That is known as extraction. So this coke, it is used in the manufacturing of steel and in the extraction of many metals. So this is the important use of coke. So it's a tough, porous, and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon, and it is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Okay, this is clear about coke?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sriram, can you please repeat the points?
Coke. It is tough, porous, and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in manufacturing of steel and in extraction of many metals.
Extraction of many metals. Amna, can you please read the slide again?
Tough, porous, and black substance. It is almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in manufacture of and in the extraction of many metals.
Many metals, okay. So have you completed the slide, children? Shane?
No, ma'am.
Shane?
No, ma'am.
Can you repeat the points again?
Yes, ma'am. It is a tough, porous, and black substance. Almost pure form of carbon. Coke is also used in the manufacture of steel and the extraction of many.
Okay. So have you completed this one?
Yes,
all of you? Yes. Okay. So now we can wind up the session. Then let me take your attendance. Just wait. Okay.